What? Hell yeah! What is going on, guys? Welcome to the podcast. Stop Crying Poser. Greatest podcast known to man as voted by Riker, Bailey, Fisher, Wallace, Dayton, Leander, Jed, Lester, Hendrick, Sando, Haddon, Pearson, Brax, Tarrant, Audie, Gerard, Redford, Langdon, Gerard, and Destin. You know what annoys me is I typed in funny names and it brought up cool baby names. Why do you name your kid based on only them being a baby? Because one day there's got to be some kid whose name is Pearson or Dayton or Riker or Fisher, and they have to live up to that stupid fucking name. Who do we have here in the chat right now trying to scroll up? We have iBook Boy, Paul Miranda, Dingo Dogger, Dude Fletcher, Sagittarius, iBook Boy, D-Trick, Cam702, Kickflip, Noseblunt, iBook Boy, Rast, D-Trick, Meatball Head, Cam, Sagittarius, Dingo, Fletcher, Fitnoid, Cam, Fletcher, iBook Boy, Claremont, and Max. And B-Rolls. I probably said a few of your names twice, but just be glad your name isn't Audie or Redford or Langdon or Destan. Jesus, man, those names just piss me off. What has been going on this week? Well, when I left you guys last on the podcast, I had just gone cliff jumping, and I was complaining about probably not being allowed to ride my friend's dirt bike. We were going out to the desert to ride dirt bikes. Lucky for me, they had a little dirt bike made for children and a big dirt bike for the big dick boys. I got on the little baby dirt bike, and first time ever on a motorcycle, first time ever on a dirt bike. I was terrified. I was shitting my pants. I was only going, 30, 35 miles per hour, 40 miles per hour at the end of the day. And I was terrified. Oh my goodness, it was scary. We were on this gravel road. You look down, the ground's falling apart below you. The sand is kicking away. And it's also like kind of paved. So it's just paved enough to where when you fall, the gravel won't roll around. It'll just rip your flesh apart. And the shifter was in the wrong spot, and I didn't have boots on. So for me to shift, I had to put my foot all the way out and lift my entire knee upwards rather than just resting my heel and moving my toes up. I had to physically hook under the shifter and then yank my leg up, almost like I was shifting with my ankle instead of with like the top of my foot. So we got it figured out. It was a really fun time. Made a fun video about it. If you guys haven't seen that video, check out my YouTube channel, Ninja Lifestyle. I combined my cliff jumping video with the motorcycle video. So all in all, pretty good time. I was complaining that my friend wouldn't let me ride his dirt bike. He saw the podcast. He was peer pressured into making, look, he had to. Once I made a big stink about it, like my friend won't let me ride his dirt bike because I talked about it on the podcast. And he's going to have, if it falls down, it's going to get scratched. And then I talked to Tex about it. And Tex was like, if you have a dirt bike and it's not scratched and you go to like the track, they're going to make fun of you. And I had never heard it like explained like that. But it kind of makes sense. If you go to the skate park with a brand new skateboard and it's not scratched up and you're going to pretend you're a good skater, they're going to be like, nah, dog, yeah, whatever. Or if you pull up to the basketball court with a pair of brand new, like never walked in Jordans, they're going to look at you and be like, nah, dude, you're not really doing this. So we prejudged him. But I'll tell you this, my buddy Nick, he's not known for being the most like spontaneous, outgoing guy, right? He's not going to go cliff jumping. We don't go swimming. He doesn't want to go to trampoline park, never going rock climbing, none of those fun activities. You put this fucker on a dirt bike, he became Travis motherfucking Pastrana. He was doing wheelies, jumps, skids. He was doing the shit where he would push all the rocks around, jumping, going fast, going slow. I was like, bro, you have all these dirt biking skills. He's never invited his friends out to go dirt biking. He has 2 dirt bikes. 1 dirt bike for each ass cheek. And it was a great time. We got some really cinematic shots. So overall, the dirt biking was very, very scary. I was also lucky that dirt bike didn't have a clutch. I fear that if I did have to learn on a dirt bike with a clutch, my learning curve would have been like tripled or quadrupled. It would have taken me way longer to get the hang of just turning around, shifting up and shifting down. But it was a nice learning experience, and it's something I would be down to do again. But I used to have these ideas that I was gonna like build a Harley. I even put some money into it. My friends were all part of like multiple like biker clubs. I was like, you know what, dude? This might be my future, dude. Like, I might join one of these biker clubs and hang out, build my own bike, learn how to turn the wrench a little bit. And that dream eventually died because at that time in my life, I immediately ran out of money. I didn't have so much disposable income at the time. So that dream kind of died. But I think now, I probably would have sucked at it. If you look at how scared I was, I feel like maybe there are some fears you can conquer. And I'm sure dirt biking or being on a motorcycle is a fear I could conquer. But I feel like it's one of those things where going with your gut is kind of okay. Not that big of a deal to like, let this adrenaline sort of like thing pass. For example, when cliff jumping, told you guys I was going to double backflip, I got scared because I forgot how scared I was of heights. That's a situation where, you know what? It's kind of good to go with your gut. So when I'm riding this dirt bike at 40 miles per hour with only a helmet and short sleeve shirt and some thin ass jeans, and I look down and I see my life flash before my eyes, I say to myself, you know what? Maybe that sport's not for me. So the very next day, as far as what I've done this week, what was it, Sunday or Monday, I went to work on my grandpa's sink. It's just a very small space. He's super handy about stuff like that. Water, electric, drywall, structure. Like, he can do anything. But under his sink is extremely small. So I wiggled up in there, tried to fix it. I ended up breaking shit. Here's the thing about fixing anything in life. For me, especially if you're new to fixing this household appliance or part of a home or part of a car. If it's your first time doing it, it's going to take 5 times longer than anyone else who's done it before. Like gripping a skateboard. If it's your first time gripping a skateboard, you're not going to do it right. Takes time. You got to fuck up a couple times. I get in there. We have a problem. There's no water pressure. I say, okay, it could be this, 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 or this. I'm kind of like thinking through the problems. Could be this, could be this, could be this. Anyway, something got into his water supply through his water softener, and now there's these granules everywhere that have clogged every single pipe in there, right? Anything that has a little bit of a stop or a bottleneck or a filter on it gets fucked up. So we took apart everything we could. Fix one thing, okay, it's not that. Fix another thing, okay, it's not that. Third thing you fix, you end up breaking something else. Okay, now we have 2 problems. Go back, fix the thing you broke. Now try to get back to where you were, break something again. And by the time I left, I was there for a little over 3 hours. By the time I left, I'd actually made the problem worse. But that's just the nature of those things. My G-Paw was not disappointed in me. He knows how these repairs go. Sometimes things go bad. Calls a plumber. Plumber's out there for fucking 6 hours. Plumber can't figure it out. Plumber gets another guy to come out. Finally change all the valves under the sink and out in the garage and in the other bathroom. There's a hierarchy of valves that go through the house and thing that controls pressure. Dude, we changed everything out. Finally got it working a couple days ago. But just goes to show you fix some things, they don't always work out. In fact, the sink situation kind of came at a good time because at the same time that his plumbing gets all fucked. By the way, my house is built in 1966. My plumbing is always fucked. Everything in his house is always fucked. There's nothing that ever works good. And you try to fix anything. You guys ever done something to an old house? I've done it here and at friend's house. You try to unscrew something and then the entire pipe breaks. A piece of metal breaks apart and you're like, oh, so this was untwistable. You go to like a valve, for example. Let's say a 90-degree valve. You turn the 90-degree valve, the entire pipe breaks off of the wall and you're like, oh, fuck. Now we have a much bigger problem. Yeah, so that's just the way things go. My garbage disposal, I found out was leaking the other day. And by the looks of it, it's probably been leaking for a long time. I only found out it was leaking because I poured some water and I heard this thing go. I said, oh, that's a noise I don't usually hear. It's usually loud in my house. The TV's going or music's going, or there's something loud happening. The air conditioning's going. You can't hear anything. Washing machine, dryer. My house is always loud, so I wouldn't hear the. I open up the bottom under the sink and I see a plastic bag that's wet. There's some carpet under there. There's some cleaning supplies that expired in 1998. And there's a carpet in there that's completely wet. Carpet's thrown away because it's probably been moldy for months. I've probably been breathing in black mold for God knows how long. Threw that away, got everything going. The disposal was leaking in 3 separate spots, which is insane, which means it's been rotted out for probably quite some time. And also the water was pooling in the same area where all the electric shit is, where the ground wire is, where the wires go in if you wanted to wire in your own switch or your own cord. Some of them don't come with cords. If you wanted to wire in your own cord, that was completely covered in water. So I got a new one. Oh, by the way, I don't know about inflation. I'm not an expert on Joe Biden, Donald Trump inflation, but I will tell you this. I had this probably Donald Trump's goddamn fault. I've had this fucking garbage disposal for 7 years. I thought it maybe had a warranty, so I kept the receipt. Had it for 7 years. And, yeah, it's completely destroyed, broken. The price when I got this half horsepower, I can't think of the name right now. Something number 5. Some type of animal, like beaver number 5, whatever it is. I got the half horsepower, which is pretty powerful. It's a big motherfucker. And $80 I spent for it, maybe $70. I looked up the exact same model 7 years later. It's obsolete by now. $130 at the same place I bought it. $70, you buy it again, $130. The price of garbage disposals has skyrocketed. So I went on Amazon. I found the same one for $110, but it wouldn't get here until like next week. I said, fuck that. Badger. It was called Badger. What did I say earlier? Anyway, Beaver, Badger, whatever it is. Badger number 5. Half horsepower, big motherfucker, powerful bitch. Anyways, found it on Amazon, $110. Still more than I'm willing to spend on something I use for 5 seconds once a week. So I got a third of a horsepower one. The Badger 1. Scored that one for $75-ish. Could have got a cheaper one without a cord, but I got one with a cord. Got it installed easily. Didn't change the sink fixture. I said, you know what? Sink fixture's good as new. I don't have any plumber's putty. I don't care. I don't want to do this. It's going to take an extra hour. I said, you know what? I'll use this old one that's been there for 20 years. It says Sears on it. Some discontinued brand, but the mounting system works the same. Mounted it up there. Figured it out, got it all put together, got the hose in, got the dishwasher plunged out there, poked out the hole, got it zoomed in, got everything perfect, set up great. I say, you know what? Now I have to install this hand switch, which means I have to splice the wire and just run it through a switch. A hand switch, because my garbage disposal, the outlet switch is far away. You have to reach all the way over and flick it, and then wash your dishes or whatever, then reach back and flick it. I want it to be within arm's reach, so I have this little rotary switch. Motherfucker, I didn't do the research I should have done. I wired it perfectly, right? 7 years ago, I did the research. I YouTubed it. It's been a while since I spliced a wire. Not that long, not long enough to forget as much as I did. But anyways, I fucking ran the wiring and I fucked up everything. For some reason, I cut my neutral wire, I cut my hot wire, and I cut my ground wire. Ground wire didn't need to be cut at all, okay? It's grounded straight in. The motherfucker is grounded inside of itself, so I didn't need to do anything with that. Don't know why I was even involved in that. I was just cutting shit, splicing shit. I ran one side hot into the switch, and then one side neutral into the same switch. It was a disaster. I turned it on, I tested it, my switch caught fire. My garbage disposal, I think, is fine. I probably took a year off of its life running that much current into it incorrectly for all of 2 seconds. We still don't know if it's going to work or not. My new switch is going to be here by the end of the day. Anyways, it's such an easy thing to do. And it would have honestly taken me 10 to 15 minutes to wire in this switch had I simply done 10 minutes of research. If I would have just, I even had a notebook that I left in there that explained what problems I ran into last time and what to avoid this time. I looked at the notebook and I said, I looked at it and said, I remember this. Threw it away. I remember this. I remember how to do this. I fucked it up. Switch damn near caught fire. I'm lucky I didn't get electrocuted. So that's what's been going on. Made another big mistake. And then once I took a look at what I did and I looked at it, I feel so embarrassed that I made such a bad mistake, because also it can be dangerous. I don't think I put myself in that much danger, but going into anything like electricity related and going into it as nonchalant and confident as me without actually looking at what I'm doing is embarrassing. That's an embarrassing look for me. So, real fucking idiot. Speaking of that, I injured my shoulder cliff jumping on Thursday. Today is Friday, so that means for 8 days it's been injured. And man, the shoulder, you don't realize how much you use your shoulder until it's actually injured. So I'm talking, I go to walk the dog, extreme pain. I throw a ball for the dog, extreme pain. I go to open my back door, extreme pain. I go to pick up a bunch of laundry, or dog food gets delivered. Oh, I can't move this box of dog food, extreme pain. And then my shoulder was hurting when I was working on my grandpa's sink. Oh yeah, you want to lift up a garbage disposal with one arm with only your bad shoulder? Yeah, it's fucking terrible. And I think I hurt my shoulder. This is also embarrassing, right? It's been a week. It's been a week. It's been a week. So I think the reason my shoulder's actually injured is because as I was trying to climb out of the water 8 days ago, everything is really slippery. So you go to grab onto things and you're slipping. And someone was swimming up behind me. And I was like, oh, I don't know who this person is. And I just muscled my way out. I went full on like, fuck, I don't want to look like I don't know how to climb out of some water, slipping everywhere. I go, I push like the walls apart, right? And I climb up, and my shoulder like hurt a little bit, but I kind of just forgot about it. Like, oh, it's just my shoulder. Who cares? Who needs that? Until a few days later, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. And I think the reason also for that is your shoulder's never really resting. Your shoulder's never like relaxing, right? Even when you're rolling around in bed, I reached behind me and tried to grab the covers. My shoulder said, not today, bitch. It's like, oh, Lord have mercy. So, yeah, if I lift my arm up or right or left, it's a problem. I went shopping the other day with Fitnoid, man. She had to carry the groceries. I had to have a girl. A girl had to carry my groceries. Like, I'm the girl now. Basically, two lesbians just shopping. I had to make her carry my shit. Oh, man. It was a mess. But, yeah, you don't really realize how much you use your shoulder all the time. I don't know if you guys have ever, like, broken a hand. I've broken my hands many times in both fighting, snowboarding. I broke my fingers in jiu-jitsu. And a lot of wrist injuries from skating as well. Your wrist is good for everything. It don't even matter which wrist it is, because each wrist has a purpose, right? Opening up the refrigerator door, wiping your butthole, opening the fridge, opening the trunk of your car. You don't realize how much you need your fingers. Or if you've ever hurt your thumb, you ever try to live life without a thumb? It's fucking awful. What are you gonna shove in your asshole? Am I right? Good joke, good joke. Nice job ruining it. Anyways, yeah, the shoulder injury kind of sucks. Last week we talked a little bit about Braille and Aaron Cairo, and to sum up that conversation, you guys can go back and watch the podcast if you want, but to sum up the conversation, I don't know why I'm supposed to care. Like, that's the motto. I don't know why I'm supposed to care about Braille. I never watched the videos. They weren't made for me. Cairo never did anything wrong to me, so he's okay in my book. He follows a religion that some of you call a cult. Weird. I thought this was America. I thought you can do whatever the fuck you want as far as religion and give your money that you earned to whoever you want to. I don't know why that became everyone else's business. That's my opinion so far. And I kind of have the same opinion on the Chris Cole situation. And I thought this was a bigger deal. I thought everyone knew about this Chris Cole thing because I've seen it all over Instagram. And although I don't know much of what's going on, I follow a guy named Rob Brink, who A lot of skateboarders dislike this guy, and I don't really know why. He's like a journalist, sales rep, skateboarder, been involved in skateboarding for a long time, did the show Weekend Buzz. I mean, he has a lot more accolades than that. I'm just not familiar with all of them. Anyways, he's been in the sport for a long time, and I guess he found out or is kind of leading the investigation or at least the information trail of Chris Cole physically abusing his wife and son. So that's been all over my Instagram, and I've seen a lot of memes about it. I've seen a lot of people commenting on it. So I mentioned it on my channel, Steve Hates Skating, just thinking everyone would have an opinion, and more than half of the people didn't know what was going on. They had no idea. And one half said, let's cancel Chris Cole. And the other half said, who cares? Who cares what he does in his personal life? I only watch him for his skating. And I don't know, I kind of am going to sit on the fence on this one because I don't know. I don't care. I did meet Chris Cole once. He wasn't that cool to me. He wasn't like overwhelmingly cool. You know, I didn't meet him and go, this was awesome. I met him and just said, okay, well, that was a story, and then went on with my life. I don't really look at very many skateboarders as like my heroes. I don't think any of them really influence my day-to-day life. So for me to be concerned about that guy, it'd be like if they caught him smoking meth and he went to prison, I'd be like, oh, well, then he smoked meth and went to prison. Okay, well, he beat up his wife. Okay, well, then he beat up his wife. Okay, I'm not buying Chris Cole jerseys every weekend. I've never skated Fallen. You know what I mean? I like the brand Zero, but if they did or didn't cancel him, I would still have this misled youth tattoo on my ribs. So, like, I'm finding it's hard for me to care that much. And I guess you kind of pick and choose what you care about. But yeah, I got a DM that was like, yeah, well, you know, Chris Cole, we only follow him for his skating. And also somebody wrote, and I think they were serious. They were like, plus, you know, these bitches get out of line sometimes. Now, if it was my friend saying that to me, I would laugh and say hilarious joke. I read this from like an anonymous Instagram. It sounded legit. And there were several other DMs of people that kind of don't care, which is fine. I don't care, but I mean, like, they don't mind. Like, they're like kind of okay. Like, they're still gonna buy a Chris Cole shirt. By the way, if you like Fallen footwear, I was reading in my chat room earlier this week that some of the shoes have gone on sale for half price, and Chris Cole is also off Zero. That being said, I saw a video of his ex-wife talking, and she said something along the lines of, yeah, he abused me, he hit me, he threw a bottle at me, punched my son, and I have evidence, and the people that need the evidence, those are the only people who are going to see it. And I was on her side until the end. I was like, wait, what? Wait a minute. So you quote, have evidence, and you've made up this thing about like it's a need to know, evidence is on a need to know basis, but you have no problem talking about all this. You have no problem talking about this domestic abuse. You'll talk. You'll talk all about the domestic abuse. But as soon as it comes time to show evidence, you go, no, I don't want to show you. No, not for you. I guess my stance is, why talk about it if you have the evidence? Why not let the video do the talking? You know what I mean? Or let the screenshots do the talking? You know, kind of separate yourself from the whole thing and just, you know, let the people decide or let the judge decide. Or especially because I know she's got to be getting like hate messages and stuff. I would hate to be the type of guy that, how do I explain this? I know a guy who has like a dating profile and social media where when he is out like in the city and he sees a really nice car, he'll go take a picture leaning on that car, and then he'll make a post saying like, this is my new Ferrari. And when he talks to his friends, he'll be like, yeah, I'm just joking. But he will post that on his dating website. He will post that on Facebook. He will do all this shit about like, oh yeah, I'm very successful. I have a ton of money. This is my nice car. But you'll never post a video driving that car. Like you'll say that you have the car. You'll flex like you have the car. But the only thing that you would have to do to convince everyone would be to, I don't know, like drive the car or show it in front of your house, or like be involved in the car. You know, like maybe show the registration with your name on it. For you to prove that's your car is free. It costs nothing, and no one would ever doubt you. And then suddenly everyone would respect what you claim to be. I would use that same metaphor for this chick. It takes 1 second to post your abuse online, and maybe there's some shit I don't know about. But I guess my point was going to be, don't blame people that are skeptical when you give them every reason to remain skeptical. I guess that's what I'm saying. Do I doubt anything that anyone says? No, I don't doubt anyone. Chris Cole doesn't affect me. If he did something terrible, he should face the consequences, maybe go to jail. Maybe go to jail for that, lose his kid, lose his sponsors, whatever. But yeah, I'm not really for the whole like, oh yeah, I could show you, but I don't feel like it right now. Oh yeah, I have every Xbox game. Oh, can I see them? No, they're in my secret Xbox room. What do you mean? You bragged to me that you had every Xbox game. No, I do. And the Xbox games are, you said they're in that room? Yeah, they're all in that room. Why don't we just open the door so I can see all the Xbox games? I'm a big fan of Xbox. No. I have all the games, but no, you can't go in that door. Wait, but all I have to do is turn the handle and open the door, and then I would be able to see all the Xbox games? Yep, that's right. All you'd have to do, but we're not doing it. We're not going to do it. The people that need to see the Xbox games, it's a need-to-know basis. The people that need to see them, they see them. And trust me, one of my friends saw them, and he knows now. What's his name? Stern. What? Stern. My friend Stern saw all my Xbox games. You can ask him. Okay, well, what's his number? He doesn't have a phone anymore. He lost it. Stern, well, he moved away. But if you move there to where he is, he'll tell you that I have every Xbox game. All right, moving on. Speaking of consequences, let me show you guys this quick article. Teens agree to plea deal in deadly beating of Las Vegas student. So let me sum up the story if I remember it correctly. Some kid was being bullied and someone stole this kid's vape. I don't think vapes are allowed in school, but anyway, some kid got his vape stolen by another kid. So there's some bully going around stealing vapes. So this nerd tried to go and defend his friend who had just been robbed from his vape. He said, give my friend his vape back. They said, no, what are you going to do about it? He said, you're going to give my friend his vape back. Then they got in a fight, and 10 people jumped this kid and killed him while at school, or like across the street from school. So now that kid's dead. There's multiple cell phone videos. All the evidence you would ever need. 4 kids went to juvie. One of the kids was 18. Turns out, they stomped another human being to death while at school, while laughing and giggling and partying. And instead of helping, all their other friends filmed their classmate beaten and, bleeding to death and dying in the street. And turns out these kids, when they become an adult, they will have a clean record. They will still be able to get a job. They will spend very little time in jail because the judge allowed them a plea deal, even though there's video evidence of them murdering someone. So the only reason I care about this is, number one, because I expected something different, I guess. And especially with one of the kids being 18, which is weird. You're 18, but now is this, I would hope, at least a felony? Murdering someone at school, a child? Murdering a child? I would hope that. Here's what it says. Police arrested 9 suspects. 5 of the teens had their cases in juvenile court. 1 of the teens was never identified. Okay, whatever. So they made a plea deal. They all agreed to voluntary manslaughter, but all of their cases can be expunged when they're 18. So that's the story. Can you imagine? I guess I'm kind of a fan of like negative reinforcement. kind of. Like, you do something bad should happen to you, and I feel like there's nothing bad happened to them. So there's still no sense of, I did something wrong. I murdered someone at school and got away with it, so why not do it again? Why not send that message to everyone in every school in Las Vegas? If you want to murder someone, now's the time. Definitely go out there and murder people, because the judges are going to be super soft on murdering a child at school. Can you imagine if you had a child right now that was of age to go to public school in Las Vegas? You'd be terrified. And now that we know murder's allowed, I hate the idea that you would send your kid to school with like a knife or a weapon. But if all your like, we're at that point now where your kid could be minding their own fucking business and get something stolen from them. Say they get their calculator stolen, or their cell phone, or their AirPods, you know, get stolen, and they go and try to get their AirPods back, and then they end up dead. And can you imagine being a parent? Where do you send your kid? What do? You got to homeschool now because murder is allowed all the time now? I guess it's just disappointing. I know that crime's getting bad. I know that our education here is terrible. I don't have the answer. You know, I wish I did, but I think the answer to less murders would be punish murderers. I think that sounds very simple, and I cannot think of a reason not to do that. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there saying, you know, like, well, why ruin one kid's life over one dumb mistake? Yeah. One kid's life is ruined because it's gone. It's gone forever. No prom for him. No first time driving for him. No first day at college. No first day at the job for him. And also, the kid that died, he doesn't get to murder someone for the second time and then go, well, I did fuck up twice now. You know, the only thing that happens is now these kids, they got away with their first murder. And I bet you right now they're still at school, and I bet you they're high-fiving each other saying, damn, dude, good thing we got that good-ass lawyer. Good thing we got that soft-ass judge. So, I don't know. Just a little bit disappointing for, I guess just disappointing as someone who lives here. It's crazy, right? And you say, like, oh, man, you know, the parents got the lawyers. Like, where were the parents? I'm like, well, yeah, the parent, these sound like kids that have fucking parents that give a fuck? Like... I don't know. I don't even want to think about it. Yeah, we'll just not think about it ever again, and we'll wait for the next podcast when there's another school murder to go with the current one. Also, not that it's related. What happened to fighting one-on-one? Remember the good old days? Remember the good old days fighting one-on-one instead of 9 people bashing your skull in over some headphones? Remember the good old days? Not anymore. Now 9-on-1 gets you a plea deal. So keep that in mind. You want to be on the right side of the law for this one. Okay, so it kind of, can we entertain this perspective? It's better to be one of the 9 jumping the helpless kid than to be the helpless kid. I think that's a perspective we don't talk about very often, but that certainly applies here. You're better off being part of the murderous gang than being the kid that didn't really, and then being the victim of the, like, whatever, dude. You get the idea, right? Your life will be much better being part of the murderous gang than being the kid that tries to stick up for his friend for getting his headphones stolen. So if you wanna live longer in Las Vegas, join a gang. That's step 1. You guys want to win a free Ninja Lifestyle sticker pack? I would love to win a free Ninja Lifestyle sticker pack. Okay, cool. Well, as we talk about that, if you answer today's trivia, you are the winner. If you answer today's trivia correctly and then give me like a third step, like if you think that it's your trivia and now you're in charge of where the stickers go, no one gets the stickers. If you want to ruin trivia for everyone else by trying to make me do more than giving away free shit every fucking week, if now my job is sticker broker instead of podcaster and person that ships out the stickers, then if you answer the question and you are ineligible or you don't want the stickers, no one gets them. Everyone loses. So now, if any of you guys hate all of your fellow viewers, answer the question correctly and then fuck around when I ask you for your address. That's the new rule for stickers. Okay? Now, the question is, what temperature does water boil in Celsius at sea level? Why do I say at sea level? Well, water boils at lower temperatures at higher altitudes because atmospheric pressure decreases with elevation. For every 500 feet increase in elevation, water's boiling point decreases by about 0.9 degrees Fahrenheit. For example, water boils at about 202 degrees Fahrenheit in Denver, which has an atmospheric pressure of about 12 pounds per square inch, compared to 14.7 pounds per square inch in Los Angeles. At the top of Mount Everest, water boils at 154 degrees Fahrenheit due to the lower atmospheric pressure. Fletcher writes, 100 degrees Celsius. Fletcher, you are the winner. Send me a DM after the podcast on either Instagram or on Twitch, and I will get these stickers sent to you. Send me your address on there. Let me talk about dreams. I used to have these dreams a lot as a kid. I haven't had one in a long time. I have nightmares fucking all the time now. Like half my life is one big nightmare when I'm sleeping. But I used to have this dream where I would invite a friend over and we'd be playing with toys like Legos or something. Let's just say Legos or little action figures. And in this dream, I suddenly have unlimited action figures. And I'm playing with some action figure. My friend goes over to the toy area, like a little closet, pulls out 1,000 action figures. Now we have 1,000 action figures. We're all having a great time. Then he goes over, he pulls out 1,000 more action figures. And I look all around the room and all I see is action figures and Legos. And the room, you can't even see the floor anymore. We're just covered in action figures and Legos. And you think to yourself, man, cool fucking dream. What a cool dream, dude. Everything is great. You have all these action figures. You're having fun with your buddies, playing. And then the dream turns into a nightmare when the buddy has to go home, he leaves, and now you have this mess of toys and action figures that is uncleanable. And then an extreme feeling of like anxiety comes over you, and the idea that you'll never be able to fix all this, it's way too far, and you didn't even pull out all those toys, you didn't even make this mess. If it would have just been you, you wouldn't have this mess. And I've had that dream probably thousands of times when I was younger. And I feel like that's got to be like a kind of an easy dream to figure out the meaning. You know, like how heavy responsibility is in your life, whether you're a kid or an adult. And yeah, and then there's the dream where like you're getting in trouble, like clean up this mess, and you're like, I'm trying, it's just too much. I don't know how I'm going to do this. So yeah, that was the dream. That's the whole topic. I don't have any words of encouragement, I guess. Start cleaning up. I don't know. Feel like that dream is, feel like I can relate to that dream more and more even when I get old. Like there's just so much to fucking do, and I feel like I'm never like ahead. One thing breaks, another thing breaks, you make a little bit of money, then you have to spend all that money, you start to get ahead, your car breaks down, you start to do this, your house falls apart, you're finally doing good, YouTube fucks off, like damn. Get a new job, your job sells your position. I guess that's just part of it though. I don't know anyone that does not have to deal with that. So hopefully tonight I'm going to gamble a little bit, and hopefully I'll make, hopefully we'll get that taxable jackpot. Maybe I'll make a couple $1,000 and I'll be a happier boy for the next month or two. Because that's the plan for tonight. Go drink some beers, gamble, play some pool. I did have big plans for tomorrow because I thought that tomorrow was the day that Merab fights Sean O'Malley. I almost say Shane every time. Shane O'Malley. Why do I say that? Sugar Sean O'Malley was going to fight Merab. I thought it was tomorrow because on all these billboards around the city, all over my Instagram, all over my Facebook, all over Twitter, these ads. The Sphere. Guess how much it is to go see that fight? My first UFC fight I went to, tickets cost $55 for nosebleeds, and I would pay that all day long. I would pay $55 all day long. I'd pay $70 to go to a UFC event. The prices now are double that. But if you want to go to the big event, number 306 at the Sphere, nosebleeds are $2,500. Which leads me to wonder, UFC fans, like, if you're a big time UFC fan, none of my UFC fan friends are also millionaires. there must have, like, there's got to be a big bunch of millionaires here in Las Vegas that are going to go pay $2,500 to pay something that 10 years ago was $55. Now I get it. The venue is crazy. It has lights all around you. They're going to do crazy graphic effects. You know, you can drink beer in there. Your beer is going to be $28 per beer. And now that was opening ticket price. Now resellers are selling nosebleeds for $3,000. All the fighters' family can't go. Fighters' friends and family, no one's going. No one's going to have a cheering section. You know, all those guys that go up there, they have like the Japanese flags and the flags of Brazil. They're always shaking their favorite fighters' flags. Not going to be on that day because everyone who's there is just throwing money away. Oh yeah, I got $3,000. Who fucking cares? Also, the people that were going to sit up front at Mandalay Bay or T-Mobile Arena, the people that were going to sit up front, they're in the nosebleeds now. So those people aren't even going to go. Those people aren't even going to go. Okay, well, it's just insane. Anyways, my point was, I thought that event was tomorrow. I was going to have a barbecue. I was going to make chicharrones. I was going to make render pork fat off of pork belly and save the pork fat for later to make something, a gravy or a sauce. I was going to make smash burgers with a special burger sauce where I was going to blend up. What do you call those fucking things? The vinegar and the jalapeno, pickled jalapenos. My God, my brain is not working. I was gonna blend those up into like a paste, throw them into like mayonnaise with Dijon mustard, mix it up into a sauce, salt, sugar, maybe some pepper, some other spices. I was gonna make that into a burger sauce. It's gonna be fucking amazing. I was gonna get deli cut American cheese to go on top. I was also debating maybe doing sliders with King's Hawaiian rolls and just do one big square and then chop them up. I had all these plans. Fitnoid was going to do fucking zucchini chips, like dehydrated and then deep fried zucchini chips. Man, I was going to do scored hot links. I was going to invite people over to skate. I was going to do a video. I was going to root for Merab. It was all planned for tomorrow. It turns out tomorrow's fight is in Abu Dhabi and it'll be over by 1 p.m. So my Saturday just opened wide up. There might be, I think, what is it? Crawford fights tomorrow, I think. So I can watch some boxing, I guess, but I'm not a big boxing fan and those cards are boring and no one's going to come over for boxing because all my fans aren't big boxing fans. So I guess we'll be watching boxing, but yeah, my whole day tomorrow was ruined. I had all these plans, which is okay. It's kind of a blessing for my wallet because money hasn't been great this month. Steve Hates Skating is doing well, but it hasn't been monetized yet. We're waiting on that to happen to catch a couple of extra bones at the end of the month. But tomorrow's wide open now. I got a 211 in the fridge. Maybe I'll stream with you guys. Maybe we'll drink a 211 and watch boxing, or maybe I will invite some friends over. I know I have one of my Twitch buddies on here. It's his birthday. And today is one of my buddy Ward's birthday, so it's a possibility we could do some fun stuff, but it's one of those things where I hyped everything up so much without doing any research. Kind of similar to the garbage disposal. I hyped it up, didn't do any research, fucked it up. Hopefully by the end of this podcast, Amazon will have delivered my rotary switch so I can wire that in because I'm 100% confident that my garbage disposal will work today. So that's one thing to be positive about. I feel like I've been bitching a lot and complaining a lot during this podcast. But I'm actually in a great mood, and I'm ready for a fun Friday, and I hope you guys are too. Can I get a oh, hell yeah from everybody in the chat? I hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast. We do this podcast every single Friday, right around 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. We were right on time today. Let's go, people. If you missed this podcast, it comes out on iTunes, on Podbean, on Spotify, on podcast app, anywhere where podcasts can be found. You can find this podcast, so go find it. If you haven't, send me money. If you haven't, thank you to iBookBoy for subscribing for 41 months. I appreciate the support. If you don't have any money, that's fine. I can relate. Maybe you can't send me any money as a tip for making you laugh. That's fine. What you can do is you can tell a friend about the podcast. Shout out to Cam702, Dungeon is Crab, Day Day, Dingo Donger Do, D-Trick, Ibug Boy, Julie Fett, Day Day, Paul Miranda, Cam702, Day Day, Dingo, Paul, Stream Elements, Day Day. I appreciate you guys always for hanging out on Friday. We're going to have a great weekend. Be safe out there. We're going to watch some boxing tomorrow, eat some good food. Join my Discord. Send me pictures of the food you're eating. And subscribe to my other YouTube channel, Steve Hates Skating, and follow at Steve Hates Skating on Instagram. Please do all those things. As I always say, oh yeah, podcast is over, but the stream will continue for a little while. As I always say, don't drink too much, but don't drink too little. I'm about to go install this switch on the garbage disposal. Let's try to not burn my house down this time. All right, cool.